Hi guys, it's Crystal with Design Bundles. Today I'm here to share with you guys my tips and tricks when it comes to the Silhouette Cameo 4. Now I have the Plus model here, but this is going to go all the way across the board for the Silhouette Cameo 4. So let's go ahead and get started. Tip number 1 is becoming a Plus member for designbundles.net. Now, not only just becoming a Plus member, but I do recommend that you guys purchase your SVGs and PNGs, DXF files, tons of different files from designbundles.net. You're going to be able to store them over here. You don't have to download them right away. They're going to always be there for you. If you lose them, you get a new computer, you can come back and re-download as many times as you need to. Now, if you guys are a Plus member, you guys are going to get Plus credits, and there is an area just for Plus members. So, for example, these files right here are 1 Plus credit. You can save those, and they're going to continue to add up every single month and throughout the year, and then you can get all the things that you want. Lots of different things to choose from for sublimation, making t-shirts, all sorts of different stuff. So another thing is you are going to have access to Designscape. It's a program that you can use to, create your own PNGs and SVGs and combine things like that, as well as there is a file converter. Tip number 2, along with tip number 1, is that I just recommend using the basic edition. Instead of upgrading and getting the higher up one, just go with the basic edition, because with a basic, it's free. And you can't upload your own SVGs, but you can upload DXF files, which we have. So if you have an SVG, you can bring it over and convert it to a DXF so you guys can utilize it here. As well as most of our files include a PNG, SVG, as well as that DXF file that you're going to be able to use with that basic edition. So with the basic edition, you can bring in PNGs and DXF files. DXF files are basically just like SVGs. So tip number 2 is using that basic edition along with the Plus membership is definitely going to be a game changer when it comes to your Silhouette machine. You're going to have tons and tons of stuff. Now, even if you're not a Plus member, they have the dollar deal every single month. At the very end, you're going to get huge bundles for $1, SVGs, PNGs, lots of different stuff for $1. So I highly recommend that you guys check it out. Definitely head on over to designbundles.net and at least check it out and see what all there is to offer. So that's tip number 1 and tip number 2. Tip number 3 is loading your vinyl and iron-on. So I want to go ahead and show you guys how to do this. So the first thing that you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to load it underneath these wheels right here. So what you're needing to load it underneath is these ones right here. So if your material is not wide enough, you're going to need to move it. So say, for example, if I put it in this direction, it's almost going to reach. So right here, these 2 gray lines, this is your guide. You want to have it butt up right against that gray line. And then you're going to go ahead and do the same for this one. So I need to scoot this over just a little bit. So in order to do that, you're simply just going to go ahead and move this dial down to unlock it. And now I'm going to be able to press this button. So on here, there is a lock and unlock button. It's this little gray button right here. You're going to be able to grab that, and then you can slide it back and forth. Now on the bar here, you do have some little grooves here, and you want to land right on top of one of those grooves when you let go so it doesn't move. If you don't, if I continue to move it, it's going to move until it gets to the next groove. So what I want to do is I want to line this up at that gray level, and so I want to figure out about where this is going to go. So I need it to be underneath these 2 wheels right here. So that looks good. Once I'm happy with that, I'll go ahead and lock it back. So in order to load this, you're simply going to load it up just like so, like I said, right against that gray line. You can see the 2 arrows, and then you're simply going to hit the load button, which is the arrow up. Okay, so it's going to bring it in. So here goes my next tip, which is sometimes, this may not be enough whenever you're loading it without the mat. So whenever it goes to take off, it's going to try to bend over your material. If you ever have that problem, this is what you need to do. Go ahead and push this arrow and bring it in a little bit further until you're happy. You can bring it in as far as you would like. If you hold it down, it'll actually go in a lot faster. To back it back up, you're going to do the same. I can do it in smaller increments or hold it down and get it to go a whole lot faster. So now that's going to help you be able to cut this. So say, for example, that I had this on here and I still had the clear carrier sheet and I cut out a piece. I could get past that by moving this until I was happy with it and it was ready to go. So let's go ahead and unload this by hitting the arrow down. All right, so it would be the same thing. So once I go to load my next piece of material, which is now, this was HTV, this is vinyl, I would line this up here and I would say, whoop, that's too much. See, if I don't have the wheel there, this is what's happening. So we would just simply unlock it, grab it, and drag it down until I can get both of these underneath the wheels. At that point, I'm gonna lock it back and we are ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and load this underneath here just like so. Load it in. And we're good to go. If I decide I want to bring it in a little, we would do the same. Now, something I want to point out, another tip here, something else I want to point out here with the Cameo 4 is it actually has a trimmer in the back. So let's go ahead and bring some of this through so I can show you. So we're just going to go ahead and push it and hold it down. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip this thing around. All right, so now that we've got this flipped around so you guys can see, on the back here is actually a blade trimmer. So we're able to trim this away while it's still in the machine. So you can simply just kind of push this back as far as you need it until you can see that it's past your design. At that point, you would be able to take this and slide it. If you notice at first, you can't move it because it's locked. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this tab right here on both sides and push it down. So now it's going to make it to where this can move freely. Now, if you go ahead and slide this all the way across, it's going to trim this right off. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to waste any material, but that's what you're going to do. Once you're done, once it's on either side, you're going to put it back in its position. You're going to take both of those tabs again, and you're going to just click it back in. So now you're going to notice that it's not going to be able to move. So make sure that you put it all the way back against the side, and always make sure that you close that. My next tip is the roll holder. So this machine here actually has a roll holder built right inside. In order to access it, you're just going to go ahead and pull straight out just like so. You're going to get that all the way extended. This piece here is going to flip all the way back until it's all the way popped down. Then you have these little arms just like so, and you can move these depending on how big your roll is. So just like this, you're going to move it until you got it where you need it to be. Now what you want to do is these little silver rolls here, this is where our material is going to sit on. These little pegs is going to hold our material. So say for example, I have this roll right here. We're just going to go ahead and set it down. You're just going to go ahead and adjust as you need to. Everything looks good. The next thing is on this white piece, you may not be able to see, but there is a hole, right? There's a little groove. You're going to go ahead and feed this through that groove, all right? You're going to pull down and you're going to pull it up like so. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and feed this underneath. I've got my roll. You want to make sure that you have adjusted your little leg here to a fit, right? So our little roll there. So we're going to go ahead and line this up just like we normally would. And now what we're going to do is go ahead and hit the load button. So now we have our roll holder. I could go ahead and adjust this now that we got everything good. And at this point, I could go ahead and pull some in or whatever I need to do. So it's ready to go. This is completely ready to go. And then you can adjust if you've got a bigger roll holder and all of that stuff. Now to go ahead and remove this, you're just going to go ahead and unload it. Okay. We're going to go ahead and pull this out. Now another thing too, while it's on the roll, what's really cool, so instead of having to trim down our material, we can leave it on here. We can push it through once it's done, trim it off right on the back, and that way we're just leaving everything else on the roll. We're not going to have to trim anything down or nothing like that. I really love that it's built in because now you can just fold these, fold this back, right? And then you're going to be able to just slide this right back in. And it's done, right? So it's all put away and it's stored right here inside the machine. Now what I want to show you here is you actually have a manual blade that you would adjust the dial by yourself and get that, depth and all that stuff on your own, or you have an automatic blade where the machine will actually do that for you. So if you go to, say, for example, heat transfer smooth, your machine is going to go ahead and adjust that for you. Now, if you have a manual one, the tip I want to show you is right here on your machine, you actually have a built-in adjuster. So what you would simply do to remove your blade, you're going to pull out just like so and pull up. On your blade, you're going to have two little grooves, one on each side. And what you're going to do is drop that down to fit inside the groove. You're going to turn right or left to adjust the dial. So that way you can get it at your exact measurements. To reinstall your blade, you're simply just going to go ahead and pop it straight down and push in. And there you have it. Another tip that I have is right here inside of the software, you guys are able to do a test cut. So right before you go to cut this out, you're simply just going to go ahead and click on that test cut to test it out just to make sure that all of those settings are correct. So if not, you can adjust those. Now you could go ahead and do your own little test cut by adding just a little small square at the top, cutting that out, and that would be a test cut as well. But inside this software, there already is a test cut button. Next up is maintenance. I recommend that you guys get a can of air to simply blow out your machine. Every once in a while, whether you're working with fabric or things like that, you're gonna get some small little pieces built up. You simply can take your air, get it a little bit of a distance, and spray that out and keep it nice and clean. Another thing that I recommend is your mats here. Something that a lot of people don't realize when you first get your mat is this backing, you need to keep it. That's how you're gonna go ahead and protect this surface. Now when it comes sticky just like this, you can actually clean this with some stuff from the Dollar Tree called Awesome Spray. It's gonna last you a long time. You can use baby wipes as well as some Dawn dish soap and a scraper tool. You could go ahead and scrape off any sort of gunk, rinse it, and let it air dry, and it's back to good as new. My last tip that I have for you guys is the extras. So for example, the weeding tools, I recommend that you get a few of these on hand. So you have a basic weeding tool here that has like a little hook on it, something like this, maybe a pair of tweezers. These ones right here are called stab and grab, so they're able to stab it and grab it. Sometimes I use these two hand in hand so I can kind of pick and then pull pieces away, or just use the stab and grab. Now another one is the pen tool. So it looks just like an ink pen except for it has a needle in the tip. This is perfect for those teensy tiny pieces that are really hard to get out, that this is just too big to get into. So you can simply poke them and get all of those out. So I recommend getting a couple of those and already have those in your stash. Now something else that I recommend for weeding, whether you're weeding HTV, vinyl, all of those things, is some little weeding tools like this. So this right here is a collapsible trash can. I love it because you can actually just kind of fold it up, toss it into a drawer, and then pop it out on your counter. So whenever I'm working, I can throw all those big pieces and then as well as the little pieces, so I can take my weeding tool here and I can be popping those right inside the trash can, and then I can dump this later. I can actually get tons of this in here before I actually have to dump it. So I can get several loads of work, several days worth before I actually have to dump it. Also, if you have to dig back in that trash for that small piece that you accidentally weeded, it's right here. Now another one is this right here. This is like a little ring weeding tool. They actually have some now that's actually designed for weeding vinyl, but this one right here is actually made for holding nail polish. You simply pop it on your fingers like so, and what you're able to do is once you weed, you're gonna bring it in through this little crevice right here, and when you pull up, it's empty. So this right here is gonna store all those little pieces right inside that you can actually dump. You're gonna squeeze like that and it opens up. You can dump all that later. So it just makes weeding, especially all those little pieces out, and I'm not having to try to pull like this. I'm able to just pop it in like so. So that's a little tip for me. Get these things to already have them on hand. They're gonna last you for years. Now another thing that when it comes to measuring is get yourself some rulers. This is one that I love to carry around. I can put it in my purse as well. So if I'm at the store and I see a design as well, I can kind of see what's an average, you know, that's on a t-shirt for that size, things like that, as well as in my craft room. So if I need to measure out the t-shirt or the project and things like that, I love this ruler because I can pull it way out there and it's small, portable. I can toss it in the drawer. This is known in like the sewing department. I'll have one linked down below, but I highly recommend that you get a couple of these, carry one in your bag and stuff like that. Now, my last little stuff here is when it comes to this machine, you can actually use a rotary blade in it to cut felt and fabric and things like that. I recommend getting yourself some, either the fat quarters, which looks just like this, so they come folded like so. These are, I believe, like 18 by 20. These are a perfect size to put on your mat and they're ready to go. You don't have to cut down all that yardage. I don't have to stand in line waiting for them to cut me down some fabric. So they come in patterns, colors, all of the things, and you can get them in little pieces like this. Or you can get what's called charm packs. So these are 5 by 5 squares. They are perfect for a lot of our projects, ready to go for applique. So you have your charm packs as well as layer cakes. So layer cakes look like this and they are 10 inches. So you're able to just really pop these right onto your mat They're ready to go. They're sized down for us because we usually don't do anything that's applique bigger than this. So these are perfect sizes. Once again, patterns, colors, and all of that stuff. So these are called layer cakes, and we don't have to fuss with that big yardage. Now, another thing that does come in the charm packs as well as the layer cakes is felt and wool. So these are different colors, so you can get your stack of colors here. It's going to last you a very long time, and you're simply just going to go ahead and take it and then pop it on your mat and cut it out. So there's also the wool as well as the felt, like I said, in your charm as well as your layer cakes. You could also create your own and have them ready to go in your stash so you can get some yardage and then cut those down quickly and just keep them there. So that's everything that I recommend. That's all of my tips and tricks for today. Another thing that I did do, as you guys can see with mine, is I just took some pattern vinyl. I already know you guys are going to ask this. I just took some pattern vinyl here. This is removable. And then I just cut it down. This one right here is actually 2 pieces. I just measured it and I cut it down by hand. Now there is patterns out there that you could definitely cut this stuff out, but you can simply cut this with your hand and apply it on. Now what's really cool is because it is removable, I could go in, pop it off, and do a whole new layer. So definitely play around with your pattern vinyl on this kind of stuff like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.